Today we're going to show how I made my Daily Bugle prop. Hey everybody, Corp Cosplay. I'm a cosplayer in the Southern Ontario area. I've been cosplaying for over 10 years. I've been going to cons for 15 years. I volunteer at cons. I've won a few awards. I've guested a few cons. Today we are going to be talking about my Daily Bugle paper. This was made for my new closet cosplay of J. Jonah Jameson, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to talk about how I designed this, how I built it, the things you're going to need to know. You are going to need a Canva account, which are free. We go into it a little bit in the next video where I talk about how I actually did it. If you have the pro account, you can do almost exactly like this. If you have the free account, you can still do it. It's just going to take you a little bit extra work just getting the layout properly. But yeah, you're going to need a Canva account, and you're also going to need a print place near you. I used Staples because it's just down the street from me. They were able to do this paper, but yeah, let's get into how I designed this and all the steps you're going to need.
Hey everybody, this is Corp Cosplay, and we are going to be going over how I created my Daily Bugle newspaper that I'm using for my J. Jonah Jameson cosplay. This entire piece was built in Canva, specifically Canva Pro. I know a lot of you out there use Canva and just have the free version, which is great, but because I use it so much, I have paid for the premium version. Some of these things, specifically the template, is a premium version. So it is you're going to have to get the premium if you want this exact layout. If not, you can make your own version of it. You can kind of see by the layout. It's not extremely complicated. It's just easier to drag and drop a template in. So let's start things off with the layout for this. So when I was coming up with the layout, I knew the front page had to be the traditional Daily Bugle look. They do not obviously have a template for this. So if you've ever done any digital drawing on, a tablet or something like that, you probably know this trick. But for those who don't, this is a great way to make sure your layout is exact. You're going to drop whatever image you want. So we're going to use this as the template. We're going to want the newspaper to look exactly like this. You're going to then take your transparency and drop it down just enough so you can see it, but not too bright. This will give you a guide of how you want everything to be spaced out. So if you are going to want the Daily Bugle logo to be exactly where it should be, you're just going to crop the Daily Bugle asset, and you're going to lay it right where it would be on the other piece. Same with your photo sizes. You can just go to elements. You can just go to frames and drop the frame and make it the perfect size. So you don't have to fuss around with it later. You've already got a guide of exactly how this should all look. So that's basically what I did for the cover article. Used pretty much, you can tell, the two boxes at the top, logo, big title, big picture, and then extra on the bottom. For the background, you are going to search and design newspaper. This is the template. Again, this is a premium template, so you're not going to get it if you don't have the premium, but you can kind of tell it's not a whole lot of crazy work to make your own version of it. It's not a whole bunch of crazy assets. It's literally just a couple lines laid out and a couple picture frames and some copy. It's not, you could make your own if you really wanted to. The background is sort of a newspaper style photo to give it that newspaper look. You can tell some of these articles are a little, not traditional. Most newspaper Daily Bugles have Spider-Man on the front. The reason I did Rhino was because a buddy of mine is doing a giant Rhino costume, and I was going to be debuting Jonah along with his Rhino. However, that got changed, but still, I think it's a pretty fun article to be wearing a J. Jonah Jameson at a Comic-Con and having that as the front page. Also, Motorcycle is my Ghost Rider. Pumpkins, he does a Green Goblin. Stan Lee, I'm a big Stan Lee fan, so he is one of the pages. Mayor of New York City, Wilson Fisk, is just kind of topical for the Daily Bugle, and Pumpkin Shards, like I said. So when I first built this template, you can tell this is not the final layout. When I built this original page, it is a 1140, I believe. Yeah, 1140 pixel by 1425 pixel as the initial layout. That is how you can get that template. I built that as a single page so I can make sure everything is spaced out properly. If you do a different size, that template is not available. So if you like that template, you have to build the original page in that pixel amount. So simply drop that in, put in your title, grab your photos off Google, and these articles are all ChatGPT. I know a lot of people have problems with AI right now, but guess what? I wanted these articles, and it was just a simple prompt. I could have easily paid someone, but I just do not have the funds to pay someone for a $10 prop. So I simply put in the prompt on a ChatGPT. I work for the Daily Bugle, and I need an article for the Daily Bugle that looks like it's from the Daily Bugle based on this story. So Giant Rhino rampages through Comic-Con, and it wrote it out for me, including giving me a little quote box. And I did that for all of the other articles as well. Some are a little edited because some had to be bigger and some had to be smaller. So I purposely only did 4 pages because I did not want to go more than that, because once, there's only so much of the newspaper people are going to see in the cosplay. So I figure a front cover, a back cover, an inside left, and an inside right page was just enough for the newspaper itself. Once I had the layout exactly like I wanted, I cut and pasted, Control-C, and then I made a template that was 22 inches by 15 inches, which was the standard size of a front and back cover together of the Daily Bugle. And then I simply pasted it in there. I put a line in the middle so I can make sure to know where my middle page separator would be, dropped it in, and just sort of had to move a little bit around just to space it out properly. Same with the barcode. It was just a barcode from the elements. And yeah, so let me just show you exactly how this is going to look. So you're going to Control Copy, Control Paste. Like I said, it lays pretty close, but you just maybe have to shrink it just a bit to make sure it sits in between that line. Control Paste, yeah, there, that's pretty close. There might be a little bit of top and a little bit of bottom, but it's not that big a deal. And that's kind of it. Once I had this entire built, I went to share, I went to download, I did PDF print and CMYK, that is coloring for professional printing, and I saved it all onto a PDF, onto a flash drive, and took to my local Staples to print it. If you try and do their special 1-day, overnight, same day printing on their website, the sizing isn't correct. It shrinks it. It looks a little mucky. So I actually just went into the store and did it. Thankfully, it was a slower time during the day, and they could actually do it while I was standing there. You want it to be printed on industrial paper. That is the newspaper style. And once they print it, you can take it home and do the finishing touches.
So that's it, folks. That is how I made my Daily Bugle. As I mentioned, so they are going to print it like this, and that's page 2, and then you are just going to get double-sided tape and just go along the edges. You can put a couple in the middle just to make sure it doesn't puff out. But yeah, just along the edges and give that crease a nice fold, and there you go. You have your prop. It does, it can take a little bit of abuse. I wouldn't shake it and rip it around too much because it might tear a bit. It's got some strength to it, but yeah. That is my Daily Bugle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if I missed something that you're like, you missed this step, leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer. I always check my comments. I hope you like this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to talk about some more props and cosplays that I've made. I hope you have a good day, and I can't wait to see what you are going to cosplay next.